As Afghanistan walks through the second day of the Taliban rule and the world powers and global media move onto the other sides, what is the future of the political state, the Emirate in Afghanistan? The Taliban maintain that they have learned from their mistakes of their earlier tenure in the 1990s. But are they able to create any state of apparatus of governance? Take a look. Afghanistan remains the world's largest humanitarian crisis in 2023. Economic downturn continues to fuel the crisis in Afghanistan, and there have been no encouraging developments towards getting girls back into classrooms. Long gone are the days when the US administration embraced women's rights and empowerment of women as a justification for its war on the Taliban. Long gone are the days when it was announced that the preconditions for US negotiations with the Taliban included the Taliban's renunciation of Al-Qaeda and their commitment to uphold the Afghan constitution and protect women's rights.
More than a year after the EU has spent a mere $400 million on humanitarian aid for Afghanistan, despite the US spending $300 million a day for 20 years during the war, we've got to a place where now women are even banned from public parks. What an absolute unmitigated disaster. Ignoring Afghanistan is not a solution. And yes, we should open our borders and take on refugees. Daily, I'm met with desperate pleas of people. But how many are we going to take? 1 million? 2? Then what are we going to do with the millions who are left behind? I'm assuming that nobody here is mad enough to think of invading again. If that's the case, we have to deal with reality. The most basic human right is the right to life. We have to start allowing the economy to function, linking improvements to that. Anything else is condemning Afghan women not just to exclusion but to death. We have to stop standing idly by.
Violence in Afghanistan dipped after the Taliban seized power in August 2021. But in the past year, security has worsened with a spate of mass casualty attacks claimed by ISIS regional chapter. The Islamic State Khorasan militants have intensified their attack, targeting foreign embassies, diplomatic missions, hotels, and educational institutions over the past months, which resulted in the death and injury of scores of innocent people. Taliban forces killed a top ISIS commander, Qari Fateh, who allegedly planned attacks against diplomatic missions in Afghanistan's capital. According to Taliban officials, Fateh directly masterminded recent operations in Kabul, including against diplomatic missions, mosques, and other targets. Amidst the increasing attacks, Islamic Emirate, however, claims to ensure security in the region.
سایی که الحمدلله در کابینه شد و کمیسیونای خاص به الحمدلله تعیین شده ای است. در این مورد در آخرین پیامی که کمیسیونا داشتن، ارگانهای امنیتی ما الحمدلله داشتن، شما خودتان دیدین که مخفیگاهایی که بود الحمدلله تقریبا از بین برده شد.
The humanitarian and economic crisis, which has already caused immeasurable harm to millions, has not abated and is predicted to worsen partly due to the interruption of international development assistance and the freezing of Afghan assets abroad. The abolition of independent oversight mechanisms and the institutions that protect human rights, especially the Afghanistan Independent Human Rights Commission, leaving Afghans with no avenue for redress. The administration of justice has been compromised, with the applicable law unclear and judges and other judicial officials replaced, especially affecting women. Press freedom has been suppressed, with access to information curtailed. Journalists, human rights defenders, and civil rights activists have either left the country or quit their activities altogether and gone into hiding. Many educators, academics, and artists have been forced to do the same. In the absence of an inclusive and representative government, the prospects for long-lasting peace, reconciliation, and stability will remain minimal.